Hi, I'm Graham and welcome to my Sprinter van. So we've had the van now for 3 years and we're just about ready there, but it's never finished, is it? A van is never finished. Oh, shouldn't have had that curry.
I'm Nate Murphy and I have literally just bought this van to show you how to build a van. We have made a really detailed course which will help you go from this to this. You will learn everything you need. We help you specify your electrical system and you'll be able to access the community all building their own vans at the same time.
So if you'd like to come and have a look inside our van, before we go in, just to let you know who we are, it's the Woolly Cod Wanderers. And welcome to our van, who's called Fanny. There is a story behind that. But as you say, just as we're going to go in, first thing, if you sat outside and you're having a cup of coffee, you have to excuse that because it's a dog lead area, but you can have your little chair or even sitting on the step and you've got your little table there to have your cup of coffee or stronger refreshments as required. Right, come on in. So welcome to the inside of the van. It's a basic build. We'll go through with you the thinking behind the design of this van. Two main things when we're looking at building a van were these seats originally came from our two-berth caravan. And what we used to do was, if you had the two bench seats, you used to pull the middle, drop the cushions and make it into a double bed. However, we found we used to leave them as two single beds so we could put the dog beds in between. And when you're getting up during the night, you weren't disturbing each other. So that was the priority, that we kept the width of these cushions the same width, because we knew with the back cushion off, you can use it as a single bed. And the other factor was we had to have a bathroom, which we'll show you in a bit. But first off, as you can see, we have a standard little sink here, just a cold water feed. Then we have the 12-volt compressor fridge, which are quite expensive, but basically they're worth getting in the end because it's ideal. And as you say, we've been using this now for over a year and we found we've had no problem with it. The rest of this unit consists of the bottom drawer, which is basically our pan cupboard. They very rarely come out, I'm afraid. And then in this cupboard here, it's just basically a kitchen sink. You've got all your bits and bobs on the bottom and your bin on the top. So that's this side of the van. So if you look, it's kind of a split level. You've got your sink here, but you can turn around here to, at the moment, which is a 2-ring gas hob. Yeah, this is going to be changed though in future plans. We're looking at putting an oven in with a grill and a major oven in and the 2-ring hob. So as I say, you've got that. Then it's followed by a bigger deep cupboard, which is where we keep our fresh water and pops and bits and bobs and the dog food. So that's this side of the van. Then we've got this, which is classed as a multi-surface area. When Jane's cooking, it's a kitchen work surface. When she's not cooking and we're sitting in the lounge area, it becomes our stand for our TV and speakers for relaxing on the evening and watching something. And on here we've got basically just 2 pull-out drawers, your cutlery drawer, your junk drawer, and then this one here, which opens right up there. It's basically all our food storage. So on the base of it, we have all the tins, the heavier items, and on the top, your bread, crisps, and things like that go in there. And then we've got pride of place bottle opener that was donated to us by that was donated to us by one man and his whippet. One of our first trips out, we didn't have a bottle opener. He lent us a bottle opener and he said, here, you can have that. And it's nice when you get gifts from people within the van world, so it takes pride of place in our van. The next cupboard we come to here, which is the one on the corner, it's a bit of a junk cupboard. The top area, obviously, we've got our fire extinguisher, and this is where the solar panel comes in at the top here. And then the bottom part of the cupboard, it's just full of cables, charging points and things like that. Oh, and Jane's little fairy garden being developed down there. And the little bumblebee, which is somewhere in there. And the hedgehog come from Emma off Urban Van Life. And there's a little bee down there somewhere, which came off from Mandy, of John and Mandy. So that's this side. Oh, the top area here, we've just got a small shelving area. It's handy for your phones, your keys, just bits and bobs, or even GoPros. So that little shelf along there. Then we come to this one, which was originally, it was just a little shelf and we would have put our tea and coffee on. However, when you go to drive, it all fell out. So what we looked at doing was just putting a piece of wood, which I've tried to tape around the corner so they hold in there. But it had to be set to make sure you could clear them out, which it does. And it makes a big difference when you haven't to keep getting your coffee out of the cupboards all the time when it's just at hand to use. So that's this side of the van. And this side, as I say, is the lounge area. So as you say, you can, in day mode, you've got your 2 lounge area seating. I think we've had 8 people in this van. But as you say, it also, this pulls out to make up a double bed, which actually gives you a space of a bed of 8 foot in length by over 4'6" wide. As I say, a lot of people prefer a fixed bed, but the whole idea, we're weekend warriors and we're just out at a weekend, and it's a lovely area to sit with the door open, friends outside or in here, and it becomes a very good communal area. And that's what we wanted more than anything. Oh, while we're here, I can show you that obviously we have the bedding in here, which when it's in normal use. When it becomes a bed, your bedding comes out of here, the dog beds go in there, and the dogs are quite comfortable underneath there. Because as I say, with this moving out, it creates a runway underneath. Right, there we'll do it, right. When you slide that back, you can see our water storage. So what we have here, these are all 10 litres. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 litres of water that's held in here. And this is our fresh water. And the reason we went this way is if you're out on the road and you're running short of water, they're quite easy to put into a bag, go fill up, bring it back, and you've got your fresh water ready for its use. What we tend to do is if we're going out for an evening, if we're on a site where people are all meeting up, we'll tend to make the bed before we go out. So no matter what time we come in, we can just fall into bed. So with every van, it's got to have its heart. It's electric or it's power, whatever you want to call it. And to get to ours, normally you don't have to do what I'm doing. It's just easier to show you if I take all these off. Normally you can just flip the cushion up. But if I lift that up, we have 2 sections. First section here is where all your power is. So we have 2 120 amp hour lead acid batteries. We've got a 230 Victron inverter, battery charger, so that if we're on a site we can plug in, the battery then charges all of that up. Then we've got your isolation switch, and also for when you're driving, when your battery's feeding through from your leisure battery side, from your car battery side into your battery, we got that there. Then this side here, which you have to excuse the mess, is basically our storage cupboard. And in the storage cupboard here, we do have our main supply. And as I say, the main supply feeds the battery charger and 2 240 plugs within the van. So that's from in there. The one thing is, with this van, it only has a 150 watt solar panel. And as I was saying, you've got your 220 amp hour leisure batteries. So we have this. which is our backup, which is a 1000-watt Jackery. We do have the solar panel for this, which is kept behind the driver's door in the van. And this, to buy with its battery, with its solar panel, you're looking around 1,500. This was donated from Urban Van Life. Lovely people. Just talking about electrics to him. Next minute he goes, there you are, you can have that. So this is what we've got, thanks to Neil and Emma. And that, as you'll have seen, the electric scooter. If we're on a site and we're using an electric scooter, get the solar panel out, rig it up to this, charges the scooter, and you can also charge your phones or whatever you need to. Turning out to be a little godsend, and it's always nice to have that backup power. It doesn't matter what solar you've got, what amount of battery you've got, you never know if there's going to be a fault. If you've got something like this in your van, it doesn't have to be this make, but something like this, you always take the fear of being without power. You must be wondering, where's his toilet? We haven't shown you. Well, when you go through this door, it's a bit of a room with a view. So, this is the bathroom area. So what we have here, we have a little shower tray, and we don't have hot water, it's basics. It's just cold running water. You can always boil a kettle, and if you do, you can pour your hot water into this. And when your hot water's into this, you lift the toilet out, pull the shower curtain round, and you can have yourself a shower. It's not one that you get at home, it's a basic wet myself, soak myself, rinse myself. But it does what you need. It does what it says on the tin. So as I say, basically we have the toilet that sits in here. Now the other reason for having the toilet at the back is, you know, you have the cassette toilets and they pull out and things like that. Well, with this, it's easy access to your toilet. You just lift the top up, take your bottom away, go and empty it, put it back. There's no struggle or anything getting it in. And we found at this moment in time that it works well for us. On this side, we've got little bits of small garages there and down the side. You'll have to excuse that it's full with all lager. And then we have this rail here, which works as a tower rail. And also if you're on the toilet, because we're getting old, you know, it's a little something to help you get up. And we need that. The next thing we have in here is obviously our gas bottle. So it's in a contained area. It's got the dropout vent in the corner, and it's got sealant round the edges so that it is sealed and any gas will drop through there. The next thing we've got here is our little shoe cupboard. Oh, bit of a smell in there for them shoes. So that's your little shoe cupboard. And then, using the rail again, we just have these two sections here, which are basically the wardrobes. Hers, neat and tidy. And mine, oh, actually it's quite tidy. I think Jane might have been in tidying up for me, you know. So that's your wardrobe area. But the beauty of it is, when you're at the back of the van like this, that door's shut. You've got your own little area. You've got your private area to have your shower. Or, as I say, we have a small little sink. Again, it's just cold running water. But it's enough to come in here, be able to get changed. You know what I mean? It's a bit of force on the power of the tap, like. Yeah. We also have a storage in here for our table. And the way we hold it in place is a bit of engineering genius. Piece of wood. So as I say, we've had it as a lounge, we've had it as a bed, and then it becomes the dining room. By quickly taking that off. Well, it's not a lagoon table, it's a lagoon bracket where you put your own wood on it as required. So then that sits on there and that becomes your table. So you can sit and have your lunch looking out to there. Or, what is nice to do is to get your feet up on here, your can of lager, and watch the world go by. So the only other thing that we have to take into consideration is where all your wastewater goes. And we have fixed underneath the van a 70-litre wastewater tank, and both the kitchen sink and the bathroom sink filter down, and the shower tray all filter down into that tank, which is how we get rid of our wastewater. We've had the van now for approximately 3 to 4 years, and on and off it took approximately 2 years to build due to the fact of work, and it was every other weekend that you tended to be working on it. The one thing we found since having it, and the reason we went to a camper van, is we used to have a caravan and it just became an extra bedroom on the drive for when the kids came, because we didn't use it. And it was so much to do with trying to book sites, and when you had time free they were filled. And we just were looking round at motor homes, and when we're looking at them and the price of what they were to what we could afford, which is quite an old model, we weren't really impressed with what we saw. And we were just going past a garage and it had a Sprinter van, and inside the Sprinter van was a quad bike, and we couldn't believe the space that was in them. And that's what set our hearts on getting a Sprinter van. The build, as I said earlier, we had the two basic ideas of what we wanted to do, but it just evolved, and it's still evolving, and things will change. As I say, the 2-ring gas hob's coming out and we're putting a full oven in. But the one thing that we found we didn't even know existed was the van life community, which is absolutely phenomenal. And the friendliness of the people, no matter where you go to these big meets or you go to the little meets, or even if you're just going down to the local coast or areas, the whole community is amazing. And I'd advise anybody, if you've not started, get yourself into van life. Well, that's our van. Hope you've enjoyed the tour of it. And if you want to see how it was put together, pop over our channel, Woolly Cod Wanderers, and if you ever see us in a field, you're always welcome to come over and say hello. Catch us later. Shouldn't have had that curry.
You may have noticed that you can buy our ebook. Our ebook shows you how to build a van conversion. It has 190 pages of text, diagram, and images showing you various options of various systems. It also comes with 25 videos that show you hands-on how to do many parts of building a van. Also, coming out soon, we have a course. The course releases in December, and if you sign up now, you get early access and a discount. The course is really in depth. It shows you everything from how to use basic tools all the way through to doing your gas, your water, and your electric installation. Not only that, but within the course, we support you hands-on in making your electrical specification. And you get to join a community of like-minded van builders who are building their vans at exactly the same time. Follow the links to find out more, and thanks for watching.